Hey everyone, and welcome back to a new video. This is me after having traveled to Brazil and Colombia for 6 months. So I want to tell you guys a couple of methods on how I personally keep up my languages and how you can learn or keep up with your languages while traveling. Number one is obviously to have a good resource, and I always recommend not having too many resources. One or two good resources that are actually completely enough to learn a language, and for that I have a great app that's Lingo. Lingo is an app you can use on the go to watch movies and series and learn languages with them. You have a choice of 9 languages in total. You can watch your favorite movies and series while you're traveling, when you're on the go. It's super easy to use. You just choose the language you speak and the language you want to learn. Here I'm going for Spanish, and you see you don't only have a choice of so many movies and series, but also a library of different categories, and also music and foreign languages you want to learn. I absolutely love that Lingopie is super easy to use, and you can use it literally anywhere. So even when I was in Colombia, when I was in Brazil, I could just download it on my phone and just, for example, watch a movie or listen to a foreign song. Once you choose a movie or series from the many categories you have, you can start watching, and while watching, you just click on the word you don't understand or you want to learn, or the word that is new for you, and you have the definition of it, you have the pronunciation. You just click on it and you see everything. So it's all ready for you. You don't need an extra dictionary. It's all in one, and that's what I love about it, because you literally don't need anything else. You can watch while learning. You can save the words. And another super cool feature I found is the say it feature. While you're watching something, you just click on say it and you can actually repeat what they're saying. This is a method I always use whenever I learn languages, whenever I watch movies and series. That's how I mainly learn. And by repeating the phrases, you actually learn how to pronounce words. So it's a super important built-in feature. You just click on it and just pronounce what you just listened to and just repeat it. So the repetition will actually make you learn so much quicker. If you're traveling and you want to learn a new language, or even before traveling you want to learn a new language by watching movies and series, then definitely make sure to check out Lingopie in the description box. Number 2 is obviously when you're traveling, you need to take advantage of actually speaking to natives. This is super important. This is something I always take advantage of. I always do that, speak to natives, and I interact with natives as much as possible. When I'm abroad, I barely interact with other tourists. It's very easy to just hang out in your group of tourists and just do touristy things. Obviously, you're in another country and you are a tourist. However, I always try to not hang around tourists all day, but I really try to mingle with locals, because this will eventually help you progress with your language. I've met so many people who live abroad who are doing either like a program or anything like that, but they barely advance in their language learning, and it's because they interact very little with locals. So being with locals is one of the most important things when it comes to learning a language, by cultural immersion. That's why when you're traveling, really take that time to be with locals as much as you can. This brings me to point number 3. How can you mingle with locals? And it's not always as easy, I know, but there are many ways you can mingle with locals actually. You can participate in local activities like dancing lessons, cooking lessons, anything that allows you to interact with locals. Not only doing tourist tours, but actually, for example, if you're taking a tour and you are beginner in Spanish, I would even go so far as to taking a tour in Spanish and not only English. So whenever you have a question, usually a lot of the tour guides are even bilingual. You can kind of ask them in English too. If it's like, for example, something like a free walking tour, you could even take it twice in different languages, one in English, one in Spanish. But I always recommend doing things in a local language as much as you can. Take dancing lessons. Like while I was in Colombia, there were so many salsa lessons. When I was in Brazil, there were samba lessons. You know, anything you do that is cultural will be including locals. So take advantage of that, talk to the locals. A lot of times you can even take advantage of that and make friends with locals who might invite you to other things, to parties and stuff like that. That happens to me a lot. So try to be as open as possible, even if you are not as advanced in the language. But a lot of locals actually also love to interact with tourists to practice their English. So this could even take me to the next point, looking for a local language partner. Of course, if you're just a week in France, you're not going to look for a local language partner. But if you're, for example, traveling traveling for a couple of weeks, if you're doing a program, you could take advantage to look for a local language partner. A lot of people want to learn and practice English. If you're a native English speaker, or if your native language is French or any other language really, you can look by just like being open, just like talking to people for local language partners. Would love to just interact with you to learn more of your language, while you can at the same time also improve your target language. Those were a couple of tips on how you can learn languages while traveling. I hope they are useful. They really help. I apply all those tips myself and they're super helpful for me. I hope they might just be as useful for you. Don't forget to check out the LingoPie app. I've talked about LingoPie before here on this channel. The app is absolutely amazing. They're always coming up with new features, so definitely make sure to check out LingoPie. The link is in the description, and I'll see you in my next video.